energy of all of us is bringing light to all the world right now, and we're bringing light to all the world right now.
The law of attraction is similar to the law of love.
I think that life and the world is very, very synchronistic.
And realize there is no death.
We are living simultaneously in many different levels.
Crystal skulls are living beings.
For any of us to ever think that we're the only ones here on planet Earth is about the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
And remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jill Mattson, and it's a pleasure to be here. Today, we're going to talk about rainbow enlightenment. And in the ancient belief systems, they believed that enlightenment equated to white light. I don't know about you, but I do know about me. I remember earlier in my spiritual path, I would read about enlightenment and I would think, what's that? You know, I mean, it's all over the place. But then you'd read something like, you know, before enlightenment, chop wood, afterward, enlightened wood, chop wood. So how do you know when you've arrived? And it took me probably about 20 years of studying antiquity to get a real handle on what this means and what being an enlightened, completely enlightened being here today means. So we're going to get into that. So simple. White light is created by the rainbow colors. So we're going to drill down into enlightenment and we're going to talk about the individual colors. And so we're going to go to the next slide. With any colored light, scientifically, you can measure the cycles per second. So we're all cool about that. In music, there's a term called octave. And an octave is the same note. It's just higher or lower, like C, C. It's very simple. To do the math of an octave, you just take the cycles per second and you divide it by 2. So you can take, let's say, the cycles per second of orange light and keep dropping it by octave. It's the same note. It's the same thing. It's just going out of the range of sight. And drop it down into the range of hearing. And then you will see that our rainbow corresponds to our musical scale. Okay, and this shows you all the colors and all of the associations. Okay, next slide. Energy travels through resonance. So let's say we had a violin here and a violin here. And if we play the A string here, the A string here is going to sound. You don't touch it. And I always like things simple. So I always like imagine a gerbil tunnel going from one violin to the other. So I'm playing A, which is about 440 cycles per second, and 440 cycles per second is created over here. It's called resonance. It's science, and it happens every time. So I want you to think of light coming down from these really fast frequencies to lower ones, kind of like a spiral. And let's say you were to take the red light, the musical night C. It's like here, 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 here. So you could draw the line and you get all those C's. And then the energy from this C goes to this C, this C, this C, this C, all the way down. Okay, so that's resonance. I just want to tell you that we're going to get into this science and bringing forth of ancient tradition. It has not always been confirmed by science, and I'd like to tell you why, because it will be, but I just need to explain something. I wrote a book, Secret Sounds, Ultimate Healing. It's about the work of Sherry Edwards and Bioacoustics. Sherry can hear if you have diabetes, because she can hear your cell-to-cell transfer. And the antidote, the frequencies, the energy to combat or heal diabetes is always the same. So it sounds the same. And with her extraordinary hearing, she's been able to come up with all kinds of software to do fabulous things, not like looking at the world at chemistry, not like looking at the world like physics or biology, but simply energy and counting the cycles per second of sound. So she got a contract from the Department of Defense to keep pilots awake for a long time. And she had just finished her master's degree on whole brain, right brain, left brain. So it was like, real big front and center to her that 40% of the population's right-brained, 40%'s left-brained, 20%'s whole-brained. Now, what does that mean? If your right brain, let's say you have a stroke, and you lose your left brain, so you can only operate in your right brain. You can't talk. You can't use a phone because you don't understand numbers. You can't sequence. You can't do day-to-day logical activities. You're very connected to the universe. You're very creative. It's a very good place to be spiritually. If you're in your left brain, if the other thing happened, if you had a stroke in your right brain hemisphere, then you wouldn't get spirituality, you wouldn't get connections, but boy, you'd be a great accountant. You could organize things. You like things neatly in a row. And what Sherry found was she came up with a frequency that took 40% of the pilots and kept them awake for ridiculous hours. And then it put 40% of them to sleep. And then she came up with another one that put had the exact opposite effect. So the other 40 that went to sleep, now they were awake, and then 20% it didn't really matter. And what she was able to figure out is that your brain hemispheres each process frequencies in a different manner. In fact, in opposite manners. That's why one note woke up a group and put the other group to sleep. And when you look at the math, which is what ancient people did, they said, Pythagoras and all of them said, all is number. Number's the basis of everything. And the universe runs on numbers expressed as vibrations, energy, or frequency, or sounds. So what you find, if you look at the math, that complementary colors balance each other, just like 40% made this group sleep and awake, and then if you pick the opposite number, it's like a seesaw. And this is how the math works with complementary colors. So if I have too much yellow, then the way I balance it is with purple. So like if this is, I'm making these numbers up, if this was 10 cycles per second, this is going to be 1/10 cycles per second. Together, they create white light. So they're very, very connected. And, that's why in decorating, they're always using complementary colors. So, when you're talking about color in musical therapy, sometimes you can switch to the opposite if you're thinking about something big and spatial and creative. And then your mind wanders, and we're thinking about you didn't take out the trash and you got to pick up your kid at 6. You switch brain hemisphere, and the response in your body changes. So, we're going to talk about colors and your colors and musical notes. But what I'm telling you is that when you have like your frequency or a frequency of an angel and master, sometimes it can flip-flop depending on where you are in your brain. And if you'd like to stabilize it, you could maybe use an earplug, and they're crisscross. So if I put an earplug in my right ear, then I'm blocking sound to my left brain. And Sherry had a cute little story. They had a child who needed some medicine, and he kept flipping in the brain hemispheres, and one frequency hurt him, one helped him. And they were talking about stabilizing his brain, and this little brother suggested that he stuff a crayon up a nostril. because it's the same thing as like plugging an ear. So anyway, just that little caveat, and we'll go back and forth with that a little bit. So now we're on to the next slide. This chart, note correlate chart, is available in my Secret Sounds book. And for those of you who don't want to go there, you could go to Nano Voice, N-A-N-O, voice.org. And I believe somewhere on that site you can download this. This is really fantastic. You can get the frequency of anything in your body. You can get it with a sound oscilloscope. Some people measure it through your sweat, which is holistic. It's a holographic. Sherry Edwards, in my book Secret Sounds, is all about breaking your voice into component pitches, for your voice is holographic. Everything in your body adds a frequency to your voice, and your voice is the combined total of your liver, your digestion, the argument last night. And that makes sense. You know, when you're angry, your voice changes because you've added a lot of an emotion. If you're sick, you lose a lot of your voice. Same thing, you're losing your vitality. And your voice is showing you what are your frequency pool at any moment. Okay. And another way is the periodic chart of elements is also a musical scale. When you use a oscilloscope, you'll see the periodic chart of elements, which is everything in matter. Bum, 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 bum. It's musical scale. When you fill an octave level, you go and you have a different family and a different level on the chart. So there's many ways to get this. And this is emotions. So these all have frequencies. That's like, if you feel love, we all know what it is because we've all been there. It's the same cycle per second in our emotional fields. It's an energy. It's why music makes us feel. Music is nothing but a vibration, and through resonance, it like plays our emotions like we're a harp and we've got strings. And they're measured, and not only are they measured, but they've been known for like all throughout antiquity. They're full in our language. I was red with anger, red with passion, green with envy. I feel blue today. We all kind of get it. And speaking of emotions, in the 3D world, all emotions have a positive and negative manifestation. So there's trust and lack of trust, patience and impatience. There's ego and insecurity. So every emotion is going to have a positive and negative manifestation. But these are the emotions, and they're going to correspond to colors, and they correspond to the musical note, assuming we're staying in one brain hemisphere. And this is easy also to come up with. This is the things in our body. So if you've got a problem with circulation, gross circulation, it's really good to listen, to see, or to wear a lot of red. Because both of them are going to have subtle meaning tiny and little. Both of them are going to have subtle little frequencies, and you will slowly ingest them. You are not separate from your environment. We're all energy. So we exchange little energy with our clothes, the floor, the air. You and I exchange energy. Although we appear that we're separate, there's energy exchange with everybody in this room. It's tiny. And over time, you get greater quantities if you're with a person for a while. They kind of rub off on you. Okay, so, no, but anybody can get this chart either through my book or that website. And at the nanovoice.org website, you can break your voice into component pitches. It will show you in your body how many things are red or orange, yellow, and so forth. And enlightenment is something that happens over lifetimes. And the reason is that we come in, and I would guess maybe at conception, the stars are such that it alters, what genes get selected. But anyway, we all come in with a personality. Good enough? We're all on board? And personality means you have certain emotional strengths and certain emotional weaknesses and certain physical strengths and weaknesses. So this chart also corresponds to the zodiac and birthdays. And so let's say, I'm just making this up. This is me. I'm primarily blue, and that definitely describes my personality, and that definitely describes my health issues, just personally. And enlightenment, the reason why I say it is something that occurs over lifetimes, because I came in this life with several goals. I was born here, and then halfway through my life, everything changed. Everything changed, and I flipped, and I had like a whole new me almost, new friends, new job, new everything, and I flipped here. But so this lifetime, I'm learning these things. It's like you go to the gym and you get weights. And if you don't do weights, you don't get the muscles. So my weights in this lifetime are right here. And maybe next time, next life, they're here, here, or here. And so let's have a lifetime like this one, and I'm certainly a lot better than I was born. I have learned a lot. I've become much stronger, much healthier as life goes on. And so now I've got some pretty good muscle in blue and blue violet. So next time, if I'm able to download energy from my higher self, I can perhaps call upon this strength from a former life. So when we ascend, when we become ascended beings, we become masters of all emotional realms, of all physical realms, meaning we can control, we can balance in between the positive and negative and manifestations of all motions of physicality, or if you want to say the same thing, of all colors or notes. We can handle them, we can master them, and then enlightenment is light. Why light? Okay, that was just my point. Okay, next slide. Okay, we're going to try an ancient technique, and it's very simple. It's free and easy. It's easy to not give it a lot of credit for those reasons. It's incredibly powerful. Toning was an ancient exercise used by masters and people in mystery schools, people on the spiritual path. For example, Buddha would have had an inner circle, as did Jesus, as did Lao Tzu. And this was a real powerhouse of raising your own frequencies, of becoming more enlightened. Recall that I said you can use the software at nanovoice.org, and I explain all about that in this Secret Sounds Ultimate Healing book. And we'll see that we all have a very skewed amount of frequency. Said differently, we all have a personality. So for me, can we go back up to the color chart? Okay. I always have way too much blue, which means I'm always low in orange. Remember the seesaw we were talking about? And interestingly enough, about 75% of my friends are orange. So their very presence balances me, completes me. And then you can see how opposites attract, and how opposites can attract and then get in a really big fight, depending on the brain hemisphere usage, because if they both go to one or the other, then it's a real clash. Okay. Okay, now we could go back to the other chart. We're going to go back to toning. So, as you can imagine, I'm usually low on the musical note D. When I have a health issue, it's usually I'm lacking some nutrient or some muscles out of place that should be a D, and I ain't got it. So you can then see how this exercise of toning is very powerful. I'm going to demonstrate it for you. I'm going to imagine, and energy follows intent, that I'm going to create a vibratory pathway of subtle energy. Think of quantum energy, teeny weeny little energy, coming up the bottom of my feet, through my head, and up my life stream. Usually, people have problems with this exercise because most of us wear plastic soles in our feet, and our feet chakras are closed. So there's usually a little road bump right up top. So I'm just going to demonstrate to you. And then perhaps at the break, we'll have you try it. Okay? Alrighty. So I'm going to imagine the lowest tone that I can imagine, like that's comfortable. Ah. And I will not raise my voice. My voice will raise when it's had enough of that frequency. Ah. And I don't know if you noticed, I jumped. I didn't go up smoothly because I'm lacking that frequency, probably because I've been wearing shoes and my feet chakras are closed. So I will keep humming it, and while I hum it, I'm going to ingest that. The second point, I'm stuck. So I opened up my feet chakras. I did that because my body absorbed that frequency, which was lacking in that foot chakra. And so now I'm coming up. Second blockage. I have an energy blockage right here. And I've been having some issues with my knees lately, physically. So, and when you do this, if you have a serious issue, let's say you broke your leg at your knees or something, you could tone it easy, 15 minutes, just to give you an idea. There was a little, did you hear it? A little glip? Weak tone, I'm missing a spot. I am not moving my voice. Sound a little bit like a kitty cat? Okay. It's simple enough that everybody can do that. It's unbelievably powerful. Because my health issues, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, are all going to be attached. They're all a vibratory energy blockage. And when I do that toning, I'm absorbing my missing frequencies. Remember, we are calling enlightenment white light, which means that we've got to have a nice healthy quantity of red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, and violet. And now, I don't really have anything serious in terms of health issues, but if you did, you could take quite a bit of time on this. This is ancient, been all the ancient mystery schools. It was made popular, I think, in the early 60s by Laurel Elizabeth Keyes, and she would tone with a group of people, and they were curing cancer and many other major illnesses. There's an issue with subtle, tiny, teeny quantum energy, so that you need to get enough dosage. So I could also tone, like I could tone on you. And I'm going to start above your feet because you're wearing plastic shoes, like everybody does. I'm stuck at your knees. Anyway, I'm stuck at your knees. Do you have a knee issue?
Not really, but...
A little, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Nothing bad, too bad.
Okay, well, and then it wouldn't take me long for the voice to rise. But let's say it was really bad, you know, I might have to hang on that for an hour or two. Whereas if there was 2 or 3 of us toning, we all might have to hang on it for 10 minutes. So you get much more power, more than double with 2 people. You get much more powerful with more people. And you can tone on other people and long distance. Like how wonderful, how simple, easy, free, and powerful is that for enlightenment? Very, very easy. And here's another thing I noted, because I will display my frequencies of my voice at nanavoice.org. I'm always missing D or orange. And then I tone, and I notice that my orange goes up. My blue doesn't go up. It's like my body looks at this practice like it's a big smorgasbord, and it's like, oh, I want a little of that now. I'm going to skip this, and I want that. And my body takes out what it needs. The body's conscious and intelligent. Okay. We're going into the ancient mystery schools. Again, the teachings of Buddha, Lao Tzu, Theosophy, Rosicrucians, Templars, back into the Hindu tradition, all over the world. And they say that each ascended master or angel comes in with mastery of a ray. And if you're going to be really simple and maybe miss the depth of this understanding, we can say color ray. In fact, I do it. But it's really much more than that. So, Kuan Yin, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Dom Ignatia, Paul Venetian, Krishna, and Matt are masters of the pink ray. So they went to college and they got their degree in white light, and after they ascended, then they had a master's degree in pink. So not only are they good with love, adoration, creativity, and compassion, is that their emotional expertise, but they're also good with growth, circulation, female reproduction, and the other physical issues and the other emotional issues that I told you. So, let me think. You know how in Ghostbusters they go, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? It's kind of like we have not really thought about what is the vibratory correspondence with the different masters that have been presented to us. So if we have a health issue, let's have a circulation issue, particularly gross, I'm really good with working with these masters. Meaning, if I have their picture around, if I think about them, if I pray to them, while I do that, I'm actually connecting with them and downloading a little bit of their energy. And their energy can actually help me on a very, very targeted, beneficial way. And then after that gets all cleared up, maybe I then find myself attracted to Jesus, and gosh darn, I need yellow. Okay, so the rays are color rays, but they're also musical rays, they're physical rays, they're the whole spectrum. And even time. There has been time where the earth is learning the ray of pink. Jesus came and we were learning yellow. Buddha came in and that area in the east was learning green. We did blue in the 50s in the United States when we had big families, nurturing, and the downside would be World War II. Nobody stopped Hitler when they could. They enabled him, which is the downside of blue. Violet would be the hippies and peace. And the downside would be terrorism, lack of freedom. Saint Germain is the Chohan, or the master in charge of the earth during the Violet Age. And everybody sees him and he's always in violet. Because at this point in time, the earth is learning about freedom, and you have to learn about lack of freedom to understand freedom. Ceremony, mercy, purity, and transmutation. All of the crap coming out from our governments, the banking, secrets within and within a country and within an earth. We're all undergoing this at the moment. So we learn, we get chances for enlightenment, the time period that we incarnate, the personality that we have, and the people in our lives. And you can see them in these charts. On this particular chart, and these charts are from my Contacting Angels and Masters CD, and you can see that the people are these colors. First of all, they're always often painted in these colors. If you see clairvoyant, this is their aura. There is a little bit difference between the aura of an angel and a master. In the masters, like you and me, I like this and I like that, and I don't like this, but I have a variety of interests, and there are a variety of colors. So I learn, like a little splash of color during a lifetime of several colors. Whereas an angel, if they're into healing and abundance, they're like right on target. They're not all over the board like humans. So when you look at their aura, it's very, very pure and consistent. But sometimes even a master will almost be under two categories because, they're like two things. Same with us. And one other thing about this chart is that many of the masters that I chose were the original ones at the beginning of Atlantis. And as I describe in my Lost Ways of Time book, throughout time we have involved, meaning we've become more associated with matter. We have left the spiritual realms and become more an individual. And why would we do that? We would do that, I suspect, so that we learn to control ourselves, learn responsibility, decision-making. When you're kind of all with one, it's like a group decision, a group energy. Whereas by being an individual, it's almost like we're little gods, children of God, growing up. So that would be the really good thing to incarnate as a human and to experience individuality. And as we sunk deeper into matter, the angels and the masters that overlit us changed. So we started out closer to God, more in Atlantis and Lemuria, more ethereal, far more psychic and connected. And we had God's helpers etc., that were more evolved. But as we de-evolved, are the people who helped us changed. It's like a kindergarten teacher has a different skill set than a high school. One's not necessarily better than the other, but as our needs have changed, so have the masters with us. And many of these masters here are the ones from the beginning of Atlantis, and they're back. So like Dom Ignacio, Paul the Venetian. So you don't recognize their names, but many of these Lord Lanto masters are very powerful. Oh, I was just going to talk about my CD, Angels and Masters. One of the things that I did on this CD was that I made music in the different colors, meaning I could, they're digital, so I can change them. So it begins with music in the key signature of pink. And key signature is a musical term. It just means if you're in the key signature of C, that you have a lot of C's in whatever music you're going to have, a high dosage of C. So I start out with pink music, and I channel the angels and masters of pink. And so you start to recognize and download their energy records. So you can start to work with all of these really high beings by simply downloading and listening to this music. And then I'll go on to orange, and I'll channel the orange masters and angels. And then I do the whole Garden of the Rainbow. It's like toning. You know, you give your body a chance to connect with the entire ascended host, back to white light for enlightenment, and upload their energy. Music of the chakras. I can't say enough about how important chakras are. And just think of their colors. They're the rainbow. So here we go again for enlightenment. There's the rainbow. In order to be enlightened, to be living in the fifth dimension right here and now, we need every chakra open. If, for example, you don't have your solar plexus chakra open, you probably walk a little bit like this because it's collapsed, and you probably don't have a whole lot of self-confidence. You need available to you every color of the rainbow coming in subtle energy. And even the ancients had, remember how resonance could come through. You can absorb healing energy by eating foods of different colors, by wearing different colors. Perhaps the most powerful is music. It's in the same frequency range as our body, mind, soul. And we can listen over and over and over again and get a very high dosage. It's so accessible. So I was just going to show you one little thing is when you look in antiquity and you look at the drawings, I'm an artist. And they're always so stiff, you know. It's like they're like this, you know. I mean, it's like the robots. And think of the Egyptian stuff. And you'll find that they're doing that to have the full opening of all the chakras. They're working on enlightenment in their body posture. Okay, just a second. Just stand up. Stand up. Everybody stand up. Now put your head up. And how do you feel? Can you feel the difference? Feel a little more powerful? There it is. You've simply opened up this chakra right here. And this one. You're more apt to be strong, powerful, and stand in your truth with that body position. Okay, relax, sit down. My Cosmic Stream CD, I combined 11 mystery schools and put it in one guided meditation, then I put sounds underneath. So if we're imagining red, I'm playing red. If we're clearing the root chakra, then I'm going to play in the background rhythms, harmonics of the root chakra, and also a fragrance, an organ, a crystal, and everything else associated with the root chakra. Okay, so we're going to do 2 little exercises. We're going to break, and we're going to listen to a little bit of the pink ray, and then the root chakra. Okay, let's do the root chakra.
The root chakra. Imagine a red flashlight shining up to hit the base of your tailbone, where your root chakra is located. Pure, translucent red light will come into your root chakra like a jewel, bringing deep, rich energy from the earth. Breathe in red. See red fill your body. And as you exhale, see it transform into beautiful green energy. Exhale green out your mouth. Breathe in red. Breathe out green. Breathe in red. Breathe out green. Breathe in red. Breathe out green. We're going to clear our root chakra with energy contained within our own voice. Just as sound can disintegrate a kidney stone, let your sound clear and purify any slow-moving, stuck energy in your root chakra. We're going to tone the syllable ah. As you tone, imagine vibrating the back of your throat and the upper portion of your mouth, the back of your teeth, and the front of your lips, and feel the sound resonating your nose. Imagine the sound clearing dark and slow energy in your root chakra. Chant with me. The energy of the earth without any pollution, nor any exposure to negativity. The energy of the earth is pure, pristine. It is perfect. The energy of the earth cleanses and grounds me. The earth energy within me is balanced and pure. Affirmations. I now release all limiting beliefs about the lack of abundant health. I feel better and better. I feel better and better. I belong. I matter. I am grounded. My convictions are solid. My energy connects deep within the earth. My energy connects deep within the earth. I am strong. I am that I am. My sense of smell is so keen. I imagine I'm smelling rich, earthy cedar smell. I can feel the smell all throughout my body. My first chakra is pure, balanced, and clear.
Alrighty. Alrighty. And that's playing a heavy dose of red and pink. And obviously it goes through the rainbow. So we're going to go to the, how'd it feel? Feel good? Alrighty. Okay, next. Just really pointing out that the ancient correspondences from Atlantis and Lao Tzu and early China in their mystery schools corresponded all of the organs in your body with another rainbow. So they were very clairvoyant and they could see the actual colors or the aura of your organs. So let's say someone starts to have a little heart issue, and let's say you start having a heart issue and I have that type of vision, it's like, it's psychic, it's like in my face, you start going black. And when you start having into health issues, it sounds like crap too. So instead of having this beautiful kind of lovely hum about you, all of a sudden it starts to sound yucky. And I created this CD after I had a bit of a vision. I kind of left my body and I went to Atlantis and I saw these children playing with pancreases and spleens. I mean, like, no Barbie, no G.I. Joe, no, I mean, and after I got over my little judgment, which I shouldn't have had in the first place, I understood that these were children in the end of Atlantis. And they were remembering what their forefathers, 250,000 years ago, had done when they were much more evolved, and they had handed this down. So the more evolved people, like Donna Eden and the hearing of Sherry Edwards, they could see and hear everything going on in your body, like it's a rainbow drawing and a beautiful musical scale. And so when, like if your heart was going down, I would just start humming C and imagining pink. And then I could tune you right back up. There's been tons of experience, not tons, dozens, of experiments with animals showing when you tune the organ will then repair itself. And that's what they were doing. And so they were teaching the children where the organ was, what it looked like, what color it is in its aura when healthy, what its musical tone is, and what elemental or what kind of elemental, fire, earth, air, water, how you should feel, conjure up the element for that organ. And that's what you have here. The frequencies of the healthy organs and a harmonic cascade, which is an after ripple of sound. And it teaches you exactly what those children in Atlantis learned so that you can see your rainbow inside and keep it shiny pretty and sounding beautiful. I think we just have one last slide for our rainbow. Rainbow health and rainbow emotions. This one, these two CDs, I go into the frequencies of your emotional matrix in your body. They can be correlated to the Bach soul flowers. So, for example, we'll go from impatience to patience, and that's a certain frequency. I have a frequency of a flower remedy, the same as ingesting it. If I were to play the frequencies associated with niacin, your face as well would flush. You don't need to take that pill and have the same effect. You can listen to your pill and ingest it, because your pill is nothing but vibrating energy. It's a certain cycle per second. Therefore, the language of the body would be math expressed as frequencies. Anyway, so we go in, and I filled it full of music matching like the patient emotion, and there's a bunch of emotions with the frequencies of it. And I tried it on a nursing home, and then I was lucky I didn't get hit by canes and walkers. They were really depressed, and you know, when you really feel rotten, I mean, like, who wants Mary Sunshine around? You kind of like to backslap her. And they just wanted really whiny, piney, sad stuff. And I finally gave in and I did that. But what I learned in 6 months, we went in there and felt sorry for herself whenever I played music for them. And in about 6 months, they began to speak. They hadn't spoken prior. And they returned to normal social, emotional beings. Because they had all this crap of pain that they had said, oh, it doesn't bother me, and they had buried it. And the music helped them feel it, acknowledge it, and I had the intent to release. And there was a huge transformation. So I put in cathartic release. For we all have emotions from childhood, from adult, past lives, bleeding through, people in our vicinity. And here's another way to use rainbow healing and ascension. So I hope that's helpful. Any quick questions? Are we good? Okay, thank you. So, you sure there was no questions?
I actually have those 2 CDs. And I
Do you?
sometimes in the car, which you probably shouldn't. But they are very good in clearing stuff.
Oh yeah, it comes right off.
Yeah.
It does. I feel it like, it's almost like a burp or something. It's like when the virtue comes in, it's so light and fluffy, it just feels like glitter. But it's like the energy gets stuck in there. And then when it goes off in a ball, and it's like...
And just like you say, like toning from the inside out, like if you're playing your stuff to tone with you and get that, like, I don't know, I call it the wave going,
Yeah.
It works even quicker.
Yeah.
Does that have to do any toning sessions? If you have people come over and just do like...
That would be incredibly powerful, and little communities and centers should do that. It's one of the most powerful ancient tools, so simple and so easy.
We could invite people who are having some aches and pains and emotional distress or whatever.
Anybody who doesn't. Yeah.
People need to start doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Is that a picture of Hathor's temple?
I believe it was.
Okay. It looks familiar.
Yeah, yeah. Any questions before we go into the next? Yeah, go ahead.
I have blood problems. What we're going to do with that? That's the hard
What kind of blood?
thick blood.
Yeah, I'd probably do some pink. The other thing you can do in my Secret Sounds Ultimate Healing book is that the nanavoice.org is the free version, but you can take a class and be certified as a practitioner through Sound Health, and they will take your voice and they will look at every single frequency within. So they can look at not only your blood being too thick, but what causes that. Perhaps you're not ingesting a certain vitamin, and then they're going to flip over and look at the sounds of your digestion. It could be. And emotion's going to be an octave of things in your body. And so then they'll give you like your precise frequencies in a little tone box.
Where do I go for that?
Well, Sherry's not far from here in Albany. But if you go online, Sound Health, they will list approved practitioners. And they're all over. It's the medicine of the future. It is far more, very, very accurate. It can be inexpensive once you do it on a mass scale. There's many things that are individual that are very important. Like, for example, this one would be, I wanted to know what causes that. And maybe there's a whole spectrum of frequencies you need to listen to. But let's say it's diabetes. Well, there's a sound pattern that could be online, and you could download it for free. There's your health system. And I'll tell you a secret about some of the sound healing is that, think of Dr. Royal Rife in the 40s, who was a medical doctor curing reportedly 800 out of 800 cases of cancer. What he was doing was he had a lens, a crystal lens, so he was able to see greater magnification than his peers. And he could see the actual cancer cell. Think of a jellyfish, you know. You know how they kind of like blobs of... Well, with physics, you can do little measurements and come up with the frequency of the cycles, even measure the cycle per second of that particular cell. Let's say the cancer's 800 cycles per second. He would expose his patients to 1 over 800 cycles per second. And 800 times 1 over 800, you and just sounds cancel each other out. That's it. And the Rife machines online, that's what they're doing. They're going through all the illnesses and they're giving you the frequencies of them, and you're able to listen to the antidote. Over time, all these viruses are alive, though, so that they might morph a little. So I don't know, but a good Rife machine should kind of band it like, in case since whenever it was measured, it has morphed. All that stuff could be online and free. How's that for healthcare?
Detoxing too, like thick blood in the spring, like the Indians would always, everybody detoxes in the spring. So maybe even her detox would help flush things away. Because if your blood is thick, then...
Thank you. What a beautiful point. Yeah.
Welcome to the Garden of the Heavens, to the Garden of Life. The color of red is infused with white light and termed the pink ray. The pink ray expresses the energy of love, adoration, creativity, and compassion. Masters and angels radiating the pink ray are Kuan Yin, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Dom Ignacio, Paul the Venetian, Krishna, and Mat. The angel Shamuel also exudes the pink energy. The pink ray has the frequency of the musical note C, and to a lesser extent, C sharp and B, representing red violet and red orange. Feel the energy of the beings in the pink ray. Simply by meditating to the music and the sounds, you will soak up the blessings. The root chakra. Imagine a red flashlight shining up to hit the base of your tailbone, where your root chakra is located. Pure, translucent red light will come into your root chakra like a jewel, bringing deep, rich energy from the earth. Breathe in red. See red fill your body, and as you exhale, see it transform into beautiful green energy. Exhale green out your mouth. Breathe in red. Breathe out green. Breathe in red. Breathe out green. Breathe in red. Breathe out green. We're going to clear our root chakra with energy contained within our own voice. Just as sound can disintegrate a kidney stone, let your sound clear and purify any slow-moving, stuck energy in your root chakra. We're going to tone the syllable ah. As you tone, imagine vibrating the back of your throat and the upper portion of your mouth, the back of your teeth, and the front of your lips, and feel the sound resonating your nose. Imagine the sound, clearing dark and slow energy in your root chakra. Chant with me. Imagine the energy of the earth without any pollution, nor any exposure to negativity. The energy of the earth is pure, pristine. It is perfect. The energy of the earth cleanses and grounds me. The earth energy within me is balanced and pure. Affirmations. I now release all limiting beliefs about the lack of abundant health. I feel better and better. I feel better and better. I belong. I matter. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am grounded. My convictions are solid. My energy connects deep within the earth. My energy connects deep within the earth. I am strong. I am that I am. My sense of smell is so keen. I imagine I'm smelling rich, earthy cedar smell. I can feel the smell all throughout my body. My first chakra is pure, balanced, and clear. Imagine your heart. It is a little bigger than your fist, like a lopsided bag. It's bigger on the top than the bottom. It's in the center of your chest, at the level of your breasts. Focus on your heart. What does it feel like? Imagine the heart colored pink, then green. It's balanced. Imagine that a fire is encasing your heart, and this energy is very healing. Recall how you feel in the summertime when the sun is at the highest point in the sky. Recall the feeling of bitter. Visualize wood feeding a fire. These sensations enhance the energy of fire, strengthening your heart. Now we're going to clear negative energy associated with the heart. You will feel negativity briefly as you release your stored negative energy. Recall hysteria and excitement. Feel it and breathe it out. Feel cowardly, deceitful, and paranoid. Let it go. Now feel courage, valor, honesty, and compassion. Feel love. Feel joy. Breathe it in and become it. The music that follows has the tones and the harmonics associated with a healthy heart. Listen and absorb and love the heart that has been with you your whole life, faithfully beating, faithfully loving you. The harmonics are soft, sometimes out of your hearing range. You still receive the healthy vibration in the meditation.